Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fabulously. It is Tuesday and it is 8:30 p.m. and I'm finally sitting down and I don't have anything to talk about. I've spent the last, I got home at 3:30, probably about since 4, so 4.5 hours. I have been putting together the prototype that I showed you yesterday. This is nearly final. So all the player boards are put together. All the various decks have been cut and sorted and sleeved, and all the little player aids and stuff. I've made chipboard tokens and rounded up player, so it's ready is what I'm getting at here. I wanted to have this ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the normal board game night, and I would like to play this tomorrow with the new card wording so that I have the full flow of the game fresh on my mind as I go back and do the final pass on these cards. So since yesterday, I told you there was, well, maybe I didn't tell you. I edited the cards this weekend. It took 4 passes, and there was over 230 some edits on less than that cards, right? So today I went back through the cards, and I think I had maybe 20 edits. And after making up my mind about a particular rule, I have probably 4 or 5 more edits to make that I want to do tonight while I'm thinking about it. So this is not final. This is still a prototype because I will be changing 20 or so of these cards. Just, it's all minor wording changes. No balance changes. Balance changes are done. So, but I wanted to play it tomorrow so that I can keep it fresh in my head for finishing out the rulebook. But anyway, that's beside the point. I don't really have much to say, so I thought we would just talk about what's going on in my life, because there's a lot of stuff that I haven't kept you up to date on. I was sprinkling it in, so let me tell you where we're at. My father's home. He came home not last week, last Monday. So he's been home for a week and a day now. He was supposed to go to a cardiac rehab kind of place, like spend a couple weeks in a daycare facility or a full-term facility to get his strength back up. But he spent an extra 3 days in the hospital because it was a weekend and they couldn't get him a bed. And by the end of that weekend, they were like, he's good enough to go home. Like, he can get up and take himself to the bathroom and walk around. So he's been home for a little over a week now, and he's doing pretty awesome. And the thing that really strikes me from this whole situation is he had a heart problem. And because of that, he was fatigued all the time. And over the last few years, my dad has gradually gotten weaker and weaker and weaker physically, but also vocally. I think maybe I told you this story. I don't know. I'm having it's a weird day. Now that he's had his heart fixed, his voice is back. He's like this booming, loud man, kind of like my voice. And so it's really interesting to see that. And he's up walking around and doing fairly well. He's not cutting the grass. I mean, he can't do anything majorly physical. The dude had his heart cut open, right? He has a whole lot to repair before he'll be back to full strength. But he can get up and take himself to the bathroom and eat and all that stuff. So that's good. My father-in-law is battling cancer, and it's going to be a fight. It has been for the last year, and he's willing to keep fighting. So we're going to keep fighting the fight with him, and he's home, and Jamie has been spending a lot of time up there helping out with all their needs. So that's good. And that's left me kind of floating. I go help my mom with my dad. She goes in and helps her mom with her dad. And at some point we meet here in between. And I've been at home and taking care of the house so that she doesn't have to worry about that. I've been taking care of the dogs because obviously my dad's getting better and her dad is fighting cancer, and that's a much bigger struggle, right? So yeah. But we're doing good there. the work situation has improved slightly. We have I think we've lost everybody that we're going to lose. We're down to, I think, 13 or 14 of us now, not counting part-time people. And I think we're a very tight core group, and we all have very strong ideas about how to proceed in the future. We have gone from a nonprofit, state-mandated agency to kind of thrown to the wolves and been told, we want you to do what you do, but we're not going to pay you to do it. You're going to have to figure out a way to make it up. And to take that, to go to the districts that we serve, the counties that we serve, the schools that we serve, and say, hey, you know that thing we used to do? We still want to do it, but now you have to pay us. That's really hard, especially when this is the poorest state in the union by far, and the least educated state in the union. West Virginia is at the bottom of all the lists, except for, coincidentally, if you go watch Vsauce's episode from 2 days ago about how much of the earth you can see, I learned that West Virginia is the least flat state. I'll put a link to that in the description. Fascinating video. Loved it. And if you don't watch Vsauce, you should watch Vsauce. Very scientific, educational stuff. So it's going to be a very tough road for us as we try to offer services that are beneficial to communities, to schools, to school districts, but with their help, because they're going to have to pay for it. The state's not going to pay for it anymore. And that's going to be tough on a lot of them. And so we used to focus on underperforming schools. That was our directive. And most of the problem with that model is the schools that need us, those underperforming schools, are the schools that are in the most rural, least wealthy areas. They can't afford us to come in and help. So it's terrible. Hopefully we can figure out a solution. I think we're on the right track. But to give you a little insight, last week I had a meeting with our executive director, and she made me a pretty generous offer just out of the blue. I didn't ask for anything. I wasn't expecting anything other than hopefully to keep my job. And she came to me and said, I want to do this. And my jaw kind of dropped. And then she said, I don't want to lose you. And I said, I'm not leaving. And she said, I don't even want you to think about it. So we're going to do this for you. And I thought, whoa, okay. And it's a we'll call it a promotion. We'll say I got promoted last week. It hasn't happened yet. There's still a whole lot of details up in the air, but that's essentially what's going on. That's why I was so happy. It was like, holy crap, that anything that could be involved monetarily with that situation, and currently nothing has changed there, but that's not to say it won't. It will. That means nothing. It's just the validation, being validated. As somebody who suffers depression, severe depression that I constantly struggle against, being validated is way more beneficial to me than financial windfalls. Being told that what you're doing is right, that's huge. So, I guess what I'm doing is right. We'll see. Hopefully what I'm doing to this game is right, because apparently I have taken charge of it and I'm doing and the guys at Poland are listening to me. I don't know. I mean, I do kind of have seniority. There's only a couple of people that have been there longer than I have. But I'm not an employee. I mean, I am, but I'm not, but I am, but they are full-time. I don't know. The point is, I've kind of taken charge of writing the rules and stuff, and I pushed somebody out. I'm not sure, but hopefully I do it justice because I love this game. That's enough about that. It's enough about me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your love and support. I say it every day, but I really do mean it. When you leave a comment, when you email me, when you tweet me, when you call in, that stuff, that is that validation that makes my day so much better. Just to know that you're out there, just to know that you appreciate that I do this every day, whatever the hell this is. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being awesome. You really are my best friends. Come back tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have something more interesting to talk about. I'll see you then.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. How high is the Golden Gate Bridge? The Golden Gate Bridge's clearance above high water averages 220 feet, 67 meters, while its towers at 746 feet, or 227 meters above the water, were the world's tallest suspension bridge in 1998, when bridges in Denmark and Japan were completed. So 98, it lost its highest, but still 220 feet is 22 floors to the ocean. That's a long drop.